Thank you for joining this session. We're going to talk through the Software License Reseller Agreement Framework for 2021, which will be carried through to 2024. In terms of agenda, we'll give you an introduction to the main contacts. We'll talk about what the SLRA framework is. We'll give you a breakdown per lot, touch on the benefits of the framework and who benefits, then how to use it before we summarize. In terms of the key stakeholders, the top two rows on this slide show you the 8 dedicated senior account managers that manage the higher education customers. This probably gives us some unique coverage in the sector in terms of the amount of accounts per account manager and this dedicated focus to just higher education. In addition to the 8 account managers, the 4 guys on the bottom row are account executives, and they support account managers with administrative tasks such as quotes, orders, ETAs, etc. In addition to the account managers and the account execs, they're supported with your usual back office staff around marketing, finance, etc. And applicably and customer facing are our e-commerce team supporting e-procurement, and very applicable for today's session are our product specialists or business development managers who manage a portfolio of solutions and work with account managers to overcome challenges our customers have. So what is the Software License Reseller Agreement, or SLRA framework agreement? It's a framework which is designed to cover all software applications and related services. It's split into 5 lots and is designed to be a compliant route to market for members of the applicable purchasing consortiums. And on the right of this slide, you'll see all of the logos of the regional purchasing consortiums and the CPC, and the applicable members can access this framework. It's designed to provide ease of use and make your life somewhat easier when applicable when it comes to software procurement. And it's been created by peers. There's lots of experience behind this to ensure the lots represent your spend and the terms are in favour of your needs. There's an anticipated spend of £130 million over the contract period. So in terms of what lots academia are on, we have colour coded this to make it nice and easy. Lot 1 is Microsoft, and academia are not on the Microsoft lot, as we're not what's referred to as an LSP partner. However, we do retain a lot of in-house knowledge and accreditations, which we'll touch on when we get to one of the later slides. Everything else, though, you'll notice is green, which means we have presence on both, Lot 2, which is split into A and B for Adobe, Lot 3 for VMware, Lot 4 for every other application, and Lot 5 for software services. In addition to being present on each of those lots, academia are also the first rank supplier. And as first rank, it entitles members to utilise the direct award option under the SLRA called off, again streamlining and easing the purchasing. So to go into each one in a bit more detail, we'll start with 2A, which is Adobe Enterprise Term License Agreements, often referred to as an ETLA. An ETLA is a 3-year commitment with Adobe. It covers a huge range of products, generally the creative portfolio under Creative Cloud, Acrobat, and more commonly these days, digital signature solutions Sign, but can add additional products as well. Generally, an ETLA offers you the lowest unit cost per product, but has the least flexibility. It's that 3-year commitment, as mentioned at the beginning, and you cannot true down, you can only true up. So you can only add to these agreements over the period, you can't take away. Many customers in education will be familiar with the ETLAs through the JISC old EduServe site license agreement, which is an FTE-based agreement, and is in effect an enterprise term license agreement. In addition, we do have quite a few customers that operate their own bespoke ETLA agreement. Generally, but not exclusively, we find they're Russell Group institutions who have a very high FTE. Other use cases might be high usage in specific departments. Consistent usage is essential across any ETLA, as it's that 3-year commitment and the lack of flexibility. And there may be other use cases you'll find when an ETLA can suit your needs. Academia have a dedicated internal resource on Adobe, and in addition, our sales team are fully trained, so all the account managers you saw on an earlier slide understand the majority of Adobe licensing. And we have a unique Adobe status in the sector. We've been Adobe's largest reseller for over 10 years in education, with the exception of the JISC agreement. And we also boast statuses such as Adobe Platinum Reseller, which is the highest level of reseller status you can have. We're also an Education Elite partner, one of only 4 in the UK, giving us additional resource for the education sector. And very recently, as of February 2021, Academia are also proud to be an Adobe signed Velocity partner. This is so hot off the press, we're not 100% sure yet, but believe we may be the only Platinum Elite Velocity partner in the UK. The other side of Lot 2 is Adobe VIP, CLP, and other agreements. VIP is the most commonly utilized Adobe agreement we see in education, and it is an annual prorated agreement. CLP is a perpetual legacy agreement, but many customers still utilize this to procure perpetual Acrobat, for example. Another could touch on some of Adobe's other portfolio, particularly in terms of their marketing solutions, which some institutions now on board to ensure you can communicate to your stakeholders more effectively. So a VIP in particular as mentioned, is a very heavily utilized agreement. It's an annual commitment and has the ability to prorate. So really ideal if you have fluctuating needs, maybe a high staff FTE, you simply don't want to commit for a 3-year period. And we also see those that have not too many creative departments, so the blanket approach doesn't work very well, or again, more commonly, decentralized procurement, where multiple stakeholders can procure licenses. And again, we see lots of customers that have employed software asset management tools to gain better visibility of usage and only wish to buy based on needs. Again, I mentioned on the previous slide, we have been Adobe's largest reseller for over 10 years. And historically, on the previous iteration of this framework, we were not first ranked for VIP. We were for ETLA, but not for VIP. So we expect this new string to our bow to only further consolidate our strengths with Adobe in the sector. And for VIP in particular, we can provide additional services, or VIP and CLP in particular. And at the bottom of this slide, you'll notice a screen grab from a site whereby their customers and their users can procure Adobe applications. This is a bespoke portal and integrates with the institution's e-procurement system, allowing for further streamlined purchasing. And further to that, we provide additional services regarding license delivery. For some CLP licenses, we can provide instant application delivery through serial numbers and media downloads. And for those annual products that need to be added in the console, we will take on the license allocation by adding the users in the console in the back end as well. Moving on, there is Lot 3, which is VMware. VMware have a huge portfolio to cover, but generally very well known for server virtualization or data center virtualization, but also boast a huge portfolio in end user computing, and do occasionally procure an alternative organization. So the likes of security and some of their cloud services are really growing as well. We are currently bringing in a new head to help support our support from a pre-sales perspective around VMware. And one of the campaigns we're currently running with the account managers is to introduce our customers to the fairly recently restructured VMware public sector team. They now have dedicated heads for higher education, and we feel this is a really good opportunity to introduce you to your account manager from VMware, and also to see a roadmap of VMware. Most customers have some investment in VMware already, and the roadmap can be a great opportunity to see what implications the changes may have on your estate. And likewise, what new technologies they're bringing on board, which may support your ongoing IT strategies. VMware is an area where we can provide additional services from pre-sales consultancy to ongoing support and delivery. Academia also operate through UK data centers, which all sits on VMware software, and allows us to offer private cloud services as well. Lot 4 is for everything else. So if it's not Microsoft, Adobe, or VMware, then it is other software, and it is covered by Lot 4. Again, first rank on this lot, allowing for direct awards. And again, this covers an absolutely huge range of applications. Academia are happy to source any application on your behalf, which can really help, again, reduce your supply chain. And we'll touch on some of the additional benefits that can have for you in a couple of slides' time. We have been first ranked historically on this agreement. I'm really pleased to have retained that. And what that's meant is over the last 4 years, we've been able to build up a huge range of suppliers and solutions we can supply through the framework agreement. On the slide, there's a few common logos of vendors that we do deliver through the framework, and hopefully or expected to see some familiar ones for you on there as well. Generally, I'd split Lot 4 into kind of 2 buckets. We'd look at your run rate software or the tail spend of your software. And our aim is to build more e-procurement stores and bespoke portals, allowing you to streamline the purchasing of the smaller single applications, for example. Again, that e-procurement integration can further enhance that streamlined and reduce the cost and time associated with purchasing. However, by far, the largest part of the spend we've seen through this framework historically have been large project-based procurements. And again, you can split these into two buckets. Renewals, when it's a high value renewal, particularly when it's business critical systems that aren't viable to necessarily rip and replace in the short period we have prior to the renewal. By engaging us, it can give you a great opportunity to ensure you retain the same commercials, but are able to associate the spend to a compliant framework agreement. And on the other hand, there are new projects. We work with many customers in fairness in different manners to support them on new projects. It could be leveraging our pre-sales consultants and us supporting to identify the solution. Or it could be a scenario whereby you have identified potential solutions and want to utilize academia to go to market to either obtain further information, run tenders on behalf of your organization, allowing you to ensure that any award comes via academia. And the last lot is software services. So I should mention at this stage that lots 1 to 4 allow you to procure the software with services attached. Lot 5 is designed for when you just require services. The first two bullet points here are software asset management and Microsoft, and we've referred to those as they were the two scenarios the tender was based on, and we scored very well on both. We can understand and see why lots of customers may require software asset management services, particularly with the uptake of Snow software through the JISC agreement, which gives you a great route to procure the software and a cost-effective route, but does not provide any additional services such as hosting, delivery, deployment, etc. And again, I mentioned Microsoft right at the beginning. We're not on the framework or the lot to sell Microsoft, but we are a gold partner and deliver lots of services around Microsoft currently. Security, MDM and Academia Cloud, the 3 of many services we could have picked here, but probably 3 of the more common ones, and services that we're currently delivering to HE already. Security is a particularly big strength of ours, and there's a huge range of security solutions and challenges we support customers with. And again, this could be from pre-sales consultancy and support all the way through to project delivery. Mobile device management or endpoint device management, again, very much relate to our supply of Apple devices, mobile devices through Windows applications or Windows hardware as well. And again, the challenge we find many customers have is how do we manage them? How do we secure them? How do we deliver applications in a secure manner, for example? Academia have a lot of experience in managing and delivering these types of services. And then Academia Cloud, I briefly alluded to on lot 3 for VMware. We operate 3 UK data centers, allowing us to offer a private cloud service. And we find this can be really useful for maybe hosting applications when a vendor does not offer that. But also when customers are concerned with AWS or Azure, for example, who often have small print stating that whilst your data will be in the UK, they may have to move it outside of region should there be a disaster, for example. Moving on, in terms of who benefits from the framework, this is very general and high level. There's many other stakeholders here, but starting with IT staff, we can kind of split them into 2 buckets. You have the guys managing service desk, receiving the requests from end users asking for various applications. Again, will often be the 1s and 2s. They can benefit through some of the bespoke portals we mentioned, the ability to leverage us as a single supplier for a huge portion of your software spend. And likewise, those that are working on core infrastructure projects or business critical systems will be looking at net new solutions to help solve these challenges. They can utilize us again from a pre-sales perspective, or as I mentioned earlier, simply by utilizing us from a procurement perspective to streamline that procurement and ensure they can deliver their applications and systems in a faster manner. Procurement have the ability to direct award and utilize our services again to streamline that procurement element. And I think for both IT and procurement, the concept of having a better end user experience is really important. I'm sure many people in procurement in particular have had end users screaming out, trying to get projects over the line and being felt that procurement are maybe holding them up whilst just delivering due diligence. And again, when common sense prevails and the situation allows for it, the framework can really help you expedite projects and keep your end users happy as well. And I've put suppliers and vendors on this only in the sense that we've really seen a huge uptake in the amount of suppliers who now proactively communicate the framework to customers. They see the benefits of it, and at times we feel we're even educating our customers on how the framework can benefit them. And the kind of common denominators for everybody is the concept of making this easy, quick, and compliant. When we look back on the last 4 years and our coverage of the framework, which has been very successful, the use cases where we've found that the customers have seen the most value is when it's a real partnership, when often we've got multiple touch points with customers. And this life cycle diagram is a really good way to illustrate that. If we start at the top on the orange pre-sale support, I've mentioned our solution consultants who often manage a huge range of applications, solutions, and are able to support your IT and staff around how some of their portfolio may help them overcome challenges. In addition, we can bring in manufacturers, third parties, and consultants that we have experience working with, and can even introduce you to peers to help you identify knowledge share and overcome common challenges. We touched on the account managers at the beginning. Everybody has a dedicated account manager whose role is simply to manage the day-to-day elements of your account and to ensure you're happy. From a procurement perspective, we've talked about the ability to direct award and the ability to direct award any value and retain compliance. We've also mentioned the ability to reduce the supply chain, which we find can bring additional benefits to our customers in the sense of reducing the orders in foreign currency, reducing the amount of credit card orders you have as well. And when I go back to being an account manager myself, I recall having conversations with customers around the actual cost of procurement. And many universities have estimated a cost between £50 and £100 just to raise a single purchase order. And by streamlining the supply chain, automating where you can often reduce the cost of procurement. So we can help you identify products, we can help you procure those products and services, but we don't want to stop there. We want to ensure delivery is successful. And when the scenario dictates this is applicable, we will help support with service delivery through either our in-house service delivery teams or tried and tested third parties. Again, I've mentioned license delivery, an ability to deliver licenses to end users, improving end user experience while reducing administration on your side. But again, we want to manage that all the way through. Technology and higher education are two very fast moving areas, and we need to stay up to date with what the market's asking for and how these technology developments map against these constant challenges we're up against. So contract lifecycle management is key as we manage the lifecycle of solutions we've delivered to ensure they're still applicable, to identify any technology updates that you may have. And that could be through project management, that could be through our constant supplier reviews that we do through our product specialist, who identify those technology roadmaps, identify updates on customer projects, and allow us to feed that back to account managers and customers alike. An ongoing review is key with customers. We encourage our senior account managers to have quarterly business reviews, which can be really beneficial at identifying trends in spend, identifying spend that maybe isn't coming through the framework that can improve your lives going forwards as well. In terms of how we use the framework, we've talked about the ability to direct awards, and you also have the option to deliver a mini competition where you get a competitive bid amongst the multiple suppliers under the lot. The new call-off contract also has an order form, which we think is very positive. The order form captures a lot of the headline information and makes it a lot easier from an audit perspective to review the headline information, and also captures additional information like dates, which were potentially lacking on the previous one. The rest of the call-off contract is fairly similar. There's a few more areas where you can add additional information, and again, just ensure we're tailoring those terms to your needs. Academia are working to try and build some contract templates for customers when needed as well, and this can help ensure that ongoing procurement can be streamlined, and we're not allowing the contracts to hold things up. The most important thing from my perspective is just to speak to us. I mentioned on the previous slide how partnership tends to make us more successful and allow us to deliver more value to customers. We have many scenarios now where we get asked at the 11th hour to engage manufacturers. And fundamentally, we're dealing with an organisation who's often had a verbal that they have got the order and it's imminent. And when we approach it, it makes it very hard at that stage to negotiate terms or to negotiate commercials. So to summarize, academia are the first ranked supplier for all software, with the exception of Microsoft, but we are first ranked for all software services. And as first rank, you have the ability to direct award to academia. And again, going back to that earlier slide when I showed you the higher education team, it's really worth reiterating how focused and committed we are to making HE a success for us. Academia turn over approximately £90 million, and 70% of that revenue comes from higher education. It is essential for us to deliver a consistent, positive experience to our customers. If you'd like to find out more, please feel free to give us a call, get in touch, or drop us an email at he@academia.co.uk that goes through to the wider team. Thank you very much for your time today. Take care.